Hi, I am Umar Sheikh and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Australia Immigration Matters. In today's video, we are going to talk about the most important news of the week, that is new migration strategy, which has been finally released by the Department of Home Affairs early this week. We already anticipated and predicted most of the changes in our earlier video, which I hope you guys have watched. So let's talk about the new migration strategy. So before deep diving into the strategy, we need to understand the vision behind the new migration system overhaul, which Australian government is thinking about. So five core objectives are underpinning Australia's migration system. The number one is raising living standards by boosting productivity, meeting skills shortages, and supporting exports. The number two is ensuring a fair go in the workplace by complementing the jobs, wages, and conditions of all workers and preventing migrant worker exploitation. The number third core objective is building stronger Australian communities by better planning the migration intake and giving migrants the opportunity to invest their lives in Australia through permanent residence and citizenship. Number four core objective is strengthening international relationships by building stronger economic and social connections with our region and international partners. And number fifth core objective is making the system work by being fast, efficient, and fair for migrants as well as employers. To fulfill these five core objectives, the Department of Home Affairs has come up with a policy roadmap with eight key actions to realize the vision. We will be talking about the key actions in our series of videos, but today we will be focusing more about the student visa related key action because it is the first thing which is going to happen as part of their plan. So let's discuss about the student visa reforms. So when we talk about the student visa reforms, we need to understand the purpose behind the need for the reforms. So the purpose is as per the Australian government understanding, the purpose is to strengthen the integrity and quality of international education. Australia is very proud of their international education standards and they don't want to make it exploited or make it abused because of some malpractices. So we need to understand the major reasons for policy adjustments which Australian student visa will be facing. There are three major reasons for policy adjustments. The number one is that the international students are using the student visa as a shortcut of access to work in Australia, and and the student visa, which is actually being issued for a genuine study matter, is currently being used as an arrangement designed to facilitate access to work in Australia, which is not the right purpose of the student visa. The number two reason is course hopping and ghost colleges. So a student gets a visa to study in a higher education program, but ends up being able to shift easily to an inexpensive private college. And sometimes students do not even attend classes in these second type of institutions, and such institutions are called ghost colleges. So, because of this, a student keeps on moving from one temporary student visa to another temporary visa, and similarly keeps hopping from one course to another course, which is not a good approach and which becomes a problem for Australian migration system. The number third major reason for policy readjustment is concurrent confirmation of enrollments. In the existing practice, the institutions were issuing concurrent COEs to the students, and the major reason, and that becomes the major reason for course hopping. So because of that, student was able to move from one course without even completing the course. A student was able to move to another college or institute or another course. So that became a problem for Australian migration system. So because of these three reasons, they are now working to adjust the policy related to student visa. So we need to understand the commitments which Australian government is thinking about with respect to student visa reforms. There are six commitments which the Department of Home Affairs will be working on starting from the January 2024. The number one is about the increasing English language requirements as they want to improve the quality of students' educational experience in Australia and reduce potential workplace exploitation. The number second commitment is about the targeted scrutiny to student visa applications from high risk providers. The number third commitment is about the restriction of onshore visa hopping that undermines system integrity and drives permanent temporariness. The number fourth commitment is about the simplification of temporary graduate visas, or we also call it post-study work visa. And number fifth commitment is about bolstering the student visa integrity unit in the Department of Home Affairs to reduce misuse of Australia's student visa system. And number sixth commitment is about the strengthening requirements for international education providers. Now, out of these six, the first four are related for the applicants, whereas the fifth and sixth are their internal departmental or their internal mechanism improvement. So we will be talking in detail about the first four, which are related to you guys who are the applicants or the future applicants of student visas. So let's talk one by one through these four commitments. So commitment number one, which is the increase in English language requirements. So they are now increasing the standard for the standard all courses. Generally, they are increasing the English language proficiency requirement from IELTS 5.5 to IELTS 6.0 or equivalent as part of the student visa application. The second commitment is about the scrutiny of applications. So now what they will be doing is when we talk about the greater and more targeted scrutiny, they might be coming up with more detailed and more proofs about the funds declaration. So if you are going to apply for a student visa, you will be submitting a bank statement, and they might be asking you to demonstrate that you have been using the bank account for more than 3 months, and when the funds which you are showing, you should have a proof, a trailing evidence of that fund which have been transferred to your bank account. For example, if you are selling a property or a real estate asset, then you will have to show the certificate of sale as well as part of your funds declaration. This can be one of the approaches to tackle the problem which Australian government is currently facing. Thus, more scrutiny will be assessed through a new kind of test, which is called the genuine student test. Earlier, they were using the genuine temporary entrant way to identify the student's identity, but now they will be using the genuine student test to identify the student's identity and to understand the circumstances of the applicant. So there are two important things to with respect to genuine student test. The number one, they will be assessing your academic and career progression, and the second one they will be checking or evaluating the usefulness of the intended study to their future career prospects. So these two things are important while you are applying for a student visa. You should be checking that how good is your academic or work experience, career progression, and how good is the choice of the course which you are trying to opt. It should be useful to your own career. It should be matching to your own career. You cannot simply select a course which is even not aligned to your existing occupation or profile or profession. So these are the important things with respect to the greater scrutiny of visa applications which are going to happen as part of the student visa reforms. The third important commitment is about the restriction of onshore visa hopping. Now, what they would be doing is that they might be restricting the concurrent COEs for the student visa applicants or student visa holders. They will be only issued one COE, and they will not be able to move from one course to another course easily. Similarly, there could be such cases where they might be asking the student to submit the full academic year fee, full academic year tuition fee upfront, and also they will be restricting the institutions to issue the release letters to students, the release letters which are typically used to get transferred from one institution to another, just to keep yourself available in the Australia on one student visa to another student visa, and this all is happening to tackle the problem which I have mentioned earlier in the first section. So these are the possible changes with respect to the student visas, which are mentioned as per their migration strategy document. Now there is also change. There are also some changes which are going to happen with respect to the post-study work visas. uh, which we also call temporary graduate visas. They are going to simplify the temporary graduate visas. The first thing which is going to change, already mentioned in their new migration strategy document, is about the English test requirement for the temporary graduate visa application. They are going to increase the English test requirement from 6.0 to 6.5 IELTS or equivalent in order for you to apply for the TGV or temporary graduate visa, which we also call 485 subclass. Let's talk more about temporary graduate visa briefly. That why they think that the temporary graduate visa has some problem. So currently, if we see if you guys see on the screen, there is a distribution of the temporary graduate visa holders who are currently working in different skill levels. If we see that more than 50% of the temporary graduate visa holders are working in low skill jobs in skill level 4 and 5, and that low skill jobs 4 and 5 are not considered an asset when applying for residency. So this is a problem for Australian government, that their students are jumping to a temporary graduate visa and they find a job in a skill level 4 and 5 due to any problem with respect to their work profile, or with respect to their choice of education, or with respect to their choice of institution from where they are opting the course, and ultimately end up being working in a skill level 4 and 5, which is not a very good contributor towards the Australians economy. So this is why they want to simplify the temporary graduate visa subclass, and this is a problem that if a student, even who has studied a bachelor's, at least a bachelor's degree from Australia, he should be able to contribute to Australian market, to Australian economy, while working for a highly skilled job rather than skill level 4 and 5. So they are going to tackle this problem by introducing new type of visa for temporary graduate visa, as well as a pathway for such people to convert themselves from a temporary graduate visa to a skilled migration visa or permanent residency pathway. We will be talking in detail about this transition from a TGV to a new type of visa in another video, which is going to be released in a few days. Until then, keep supporting us, keep subscribing us, and keep following us on our socials. We are looking for your support. Thank you and keep watching.